So hi, I'm Jon Hodgson. I'm the author of a new book from Impact Books called Fantasy Art for Beginners. And this is part 2 of a short series of videos I'm putting together to tell you all about the book. So in the introduction to this little series, I covered the generalities of what's in the book. And in this part 2, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the first section of the book. The book is 128 pages long, and the first section of about 32 pages is devoted to introducing the ideas behind art theory, which can sound really scary, but the whole thing is tailored completely to beginners. So there's nothing horrendous, there's nothing you won't understand. It's all explained. That's the whole idea of this section. So in part 1, we have a section on traditional media. So that's your real paints, your pencils, paints, coloured pencils, that kind of thing. We also have a section on digital tools. A lot of people start out these days with making artwork in the computer, so we cover that, all the major software, different tools, tablets, that kind of thing. Then we cover drawing, traditional painting, digital painting, planning your images, which is very important, of course, colour, lighting, imagination and development. So plenty there to get you going, starting to make fantasy art. And this is all based on your real, genuine art theory, but presented in a way that a beginner can understand. Would be to take a bit of a close-up look at one of these sections on art theory, and I thought, pick one out of the hat, we'll have a look at the lighting section. So the lighting section in the book is 4 pages. The first couple of pages introduce some basic ideas of lighting, like light sources having a direction coming into your painting, and lighting up some surfaces, not lighting up others. We talk about a little bit about secondary light sources, because it can be really useful in a painting to have more than one light source. We talk about shadows as well. And there's 3 examples on the first spread. Atmospheric lighting, which is very common in fantasy paintings, like misty, murky kind of light that you often see. There's a little section about weird lighting. There's an example from the Dragon Warrior series of books that I did the covers for. It shows a scene lit by a weird magic crystal in a sort of spooky fog. There's a really good example of some kind of quite dynamic lighting from another Dragon Warriors cover, where a dragon's breathing out an enormous burst of flame, and that's the big light source that's lighting everything up in the picture. So there's a little bit of description about how I made those images work. And then once we've established the basics of lighting, your elementary theory, we move on to 5 examples of a wizard character who we named Cedric. I don't know why, but we did. And we show 4, 5 different lighting situations for this one character. So exactly the same character lit 5 different ways. So I have a basic neutral lighting scheme that's like an outdoor kind of day-to-day lighting, just to establish the character. And then we show him side lit, so a stronger light coming just from one side, which can be a little bit more dramatic than just a neutral lighting scheme. We've got backlighting, kind of nighttime scene. He's lit from the back by the moon, or hey, whatever moonlight-like kind of lighting you want to decide it to be, but it shows the principles of lighting something up from behind, and how very dramatic that can be. We've also got an uplighting situation, and for that example we use a real sort of magical light. There's like a green glow lighting up the character. And the final one is just a little nod to spotlighting, which is really popular at the moment. A lot of the cool kids are using this spotlighting, where you cast like a little strip of light or a circle of light on the focus of your image, and that lights it up and helps guide the eye of the viewer to where you want it to be. So that's the lighting section. Just a brief overview there. Obviously you want to read it in the book to really get the full effect. There's a couple of hints and tips through that section as well. Throughout the book there's these little scrolls and a little art ranger dude who helps you out with some top tips. So there's a couple of those in there as well. And that's about it for the lighting section. Just an overview, easily digested. You can take that information, have a practice with it, then go away and look for something more detailed once you've got the basics. But a good place to start. And yeah, there we go. So I'll be back later on. Might be a couple of weeks again, I'm afraid. Depends how busy I get with commissions and so on. But I should be back with another video about the second half of the book, which is the step-by-step walkthroughs, and that's the big chunky part of the book. That's 2/3 of the book, is these walkthroughs of 6 classic fantasy images, and I take you step by step how I made these 6 paintings. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Showbiz pistols. Just before I go, by popular request, I've got a little section I've added into this video with some art making tips and general walkthrough information from my son Rory, who seemed to be quite a hit with you guys out there. So never mind what I've got to say, cue Rory. So what are you painting today, Rory?
A fishy.
A fish? Oh wow.
Don't drink that, Daddy. That's paint water.
Yeah.